Hi everybody, hopefully you can hear me. Welcome to Economics at JCG. I'm just checking how I can share that. Perhaps in the Q&A somebody could just say if they can hear me. I will carry on regardless. Okay, welcome to Economics at JCG. Let me share with you what economics is like at JCG. So the most common question that students have, by the way, I'm Mrs. Hadja, I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. The most common question that students have is, what is economics? So let me just take you through some of the questions that economics might try to answer, and then we'll kind of go back and answer the question. So I'm going to whiz through these without talking about them too much. Looking at why countries are richer than others. Brexit, 5 years on, it still dominates lots of our talking. Cinemas, what future for cinemas in a world dominated by Netflix, Amazon? We look at monopoly power, social media, digital companies. Should they be controlled? This is very topical with COP26. Plastic pollution, we spend a lot of time talking about whether economics has solutions for this. The tax, how can we encourage healthy eating? Again, very topical in Jersey, how population control, labour migration, trade wars, artificial intelligence, robots, is there a job for many of us? Electric vehicles, what about the infrastructure? Should it be subsidised? Should people have a minimum basic income given to them by the state? Gender pay gap, again, another one relevant to Jersey, housing more affordable, globalisation, more winners than losers. Future for cash, particularly post-COVID. When was the last time you paid for something using cash? Gambling, and so on. I'll whiz through those. So the idea that what is economics about? It's about how we make decisions, how we try and solve some of these questions. And when, if any of the Year 11s are listening, when you do your taster session with me next week, I will be looking at this question here, how we could reduce traffic congestion in Jersey. I haven't got time to do it now. You might have some of your own ideas, but we'll talk through them. Okay, there's a few suggestions there, and we'll talk about how we make a decision. Okay. Economics, at its heart, is about making decisions. Which of those traffic projects did we choose to focus on, okay, to reduce the congestion? What if people disagree? Okay? Why can't the government in Jersey do all of the things all of the time to solve all of these problems? Okay. Is the science of choice, and that sounds a little weird, but it studies how and why choices are made, and that's why it's such a dynamic subject, because the world's always changing, the decisions, the information that we have is always changing. So we've always got new information about what we shouldn't do, what the decisions that's best for us. Okay, so let's think about decision makers, governments. Which countries should they trade with? How should they regulate carbon emissions? Really popular with COP at the minute. Firms, how much should they charge? Coming up to Christmas, should they charge really high prices for turkeys? To try and increase their profits, or should they make it more affordable? And you as consumers, you make these decisions every day, what to buy, where to work, whether to have children, whether you should save for the future. You make decisions all day, every day, and economics looks at that at its simplest. Okay, why study economics? I mean, I'm obviously biased, I think it's brilliant, but economics is everywhere. Okay, even right now, you've made a choice. You're listening to me, you're watching this, you could be doing something else. Okay, so why have you given up that time to listen? That's an economic choice that you have made. Okay, you don't need to have done previous study at GCSE. Okay, it's really helpful if you've got an interest and an opinion on current affairs, news stories, although I will help you with that if you don't currently. Okay, but it gives more background, more depth to your, to lessons. It goes with really lots of other A levels, geography, politics, maths, but it's a good complement for many of the other A levels. Is it mathsy? That's always the question. At A level, no, honestly, and I'm going to show you an example in a minute. But 20% of marks are available for what we call quantitative skills, which can also include drawing and interpreting graphs. And if you can do a percentage change, you pretty much have the maths to do A-level economics. That might be a surprise to some of you. If you wanted to do a pure economics degree at university, you would definitely need some high-level maths, but you can avoid that by combining economics with another subject, okay, or doing a BA in economics, okay? Your written analytical skills are much more important. Let me give you an example of, we'll just look at this first one, okay, about selling lottery tickets. So this is from paper 1 2018. Ticket sales were £73 million. If each lottery ticket is sold for £2, which includes 24p tax, okay, what was the weekly revenue received by Camelot after paying the tax to the government? I mean, I know it's only 2 marks, but that is not difficult. Okay, £2 minus 24 times 73 million. You're allowed to use a calculator. Okay, this one here, it's a percentage. What is 1.3% of 489,000? Again, with a calculator, you can do that, no problems. Okay. What do our students say about economics? We did some work with the Discover Economics group, and some of my year 13s from last year said this. As I said, economics is about making decisions. Okay. After studying for 2 years, I can hold much more intellectual conversations. And I like this one. Economics isn't just maths and graphs. It's about looking at decisions people make and what can affect those decisions. I had practically no clue how our economy worked before starting, and it's genuinely really interesting to learn how the world around us functions. Okay, so that's some things that my year 13s wrote last year. I'll go over this. There's not much point me going through this, I think, really now. It's available for record afterwards, and you can see the different forms that we do. But the assessment for Edexcel Economics A is 3 papers at the end of the 2 years. There is no coursework for economics. Okay, so 3 2-hour papers at the end of year 13. Okay, and I've got the data from 2019, which was the last time exams were sat, and you can see the data there. Okay, about 12,000 entries for Edexcel A, and the cumulative percentages there pretty strong for A-level economics. Okay. To do some regular enrichment. So this year with year 13, we've had a speaker, or year 13, year 12, we've had a speaker from the Bank of England. We had India Hamilton from Scoop come and talk to us about their work they're doing there. Richard Davies, author, fellow at the London School of Economics, Bank of England, came to speak to us last week about his book. And we go on a walking tour of St Helier to learn about market structures. Okay. Those of you who are in year 11 who are watching, there's our taster session next Wednesday, and I will go through some of the practical things about making choices and a bit more about what economics is there. But if you have any questions, please let me know in the chat, which I will have a look at now. If not, you can come and see me in R11. Okay. Okay, I can't see any questions, although I think there is a little bit of a delay, so I'll wait a little bit longer. So just to recap, I'm always up in R11, that's my teaching room. Come and find me, come and ask me some questions. and I will see you at the taster session on Wednesday next week. Okay. Thank you very much.